Mercedes-Benz is building an engine cooling system with a size that equals to 70 stories skyscraper. You are watching Stripping Architecture News for March 2024. Stay tuned. Oops, sorry. It's not an engine cooling system, it's actually a building. The German car brand Mercedes-Benz will be building a 70 stories mixed-use skyscraper in Miami. This skyscraper will be conducting the philosophy of, quote, sensual purity, which will reflect the design of, quote, intelligence and emotion. The project also has the ambition to redesign the surrounding into a healthy living environment with mango trees and short-leaf figs. This plan has been announced shortly after the British car manufacturer Bentley has shared the design proposals for the new residence towers on the ocean front in Miami. While these corporate giants are competing for placing their developments at the top world locations, the regular air suckers of this planet, such as you and us, are receiving this news with great excitement. In other words, people believe that this is a good indication that the car industry is in a serious decline, and therefore they are slowly shifting towards the construction business. However, people hope that these corporations one day will also invest in social housing as well, which will help with the ongoing housing crisis. Unfortunately, the design philosophy that was mentioned in the beginning as, quote, sensual purity is not meant to be applied for social housing, only elite, please. Next, Tasty Cube. A giant kitchen will be built in London. More precisely, a massive block with significantly wide floor plan and more than 10 stories will be built in the Northern Acton, a neighborhood in London. The block, known as Portal Way, will host hundreds of commercial kitchens, communal food hall, and hopefully inclusive public spaces. In other words, the building will actually operate as a mega kitchen that will try to provide a decent and hygienic spaces for the food that come from the so-called dark kitchens, or also known as food restaurants that sell exclusively via delivery. While some may see this as a desperation of the service industry to find affordable spaces in the expensive city and harsh competition to the traditional restaurants, this concept is fairly new and may inspire fresh visions for the food industry in the upcoming time. For example, imagine multiple buildings like this that can be supplied with fresh products by local farmers with central focus on food and communal public spaces. It may reduce the price of the food, introduce cooking culture, reduce the food waste, and embrace sustainable manners of food production. Nice thoughts, but for some reasons in mega consumerist context, this big kitchen can quickly turn into a just giant McDonald's or delivery service. Freedom Plaza in New York. New urban development in New York's United Nations headquarters. Right next to the United Nations building in New York, a part of the Freedom will be erected. The park will host a museum of democracy and freedom, followed by 4 skyscrapers with more than 50 floors raising up to 200 meters. In the center of it, there will be a beautiful spiral-shaped museum of freedom as a center of our society. The skyscrapers around will be hosting casinos, hotels, elite restaurants, fitness and spa centers. But in the center, the Museum of Freedom will be celebrating humankind and the evolution of democracy, which will be oriented toward the river as the ever-flowing wisdom. Top of the building that will surround the museum, there will be an expensive infinite pool, mall and leading retail stores. The museum will be designed in a shape of Mobius ribbon, which will symbolize the infinity of the freedom we can acquire. There will be many places for leisure banks, and the top of the buildings will be connected to an expensive cantilever bridge, which will offer very beautiful sightseeing for the chosen ones. On top of that, there will be 40% dedicated to affordable housing. Affordable housing in New York? Okay, for those with smaller yachts. Unfortunately, from what we can see here, it looks like freedom and democracy is only for the rich people. The capital of Europe will be fighting housing crisis. Brussels is looking for implementing a new efficient methods for fighting the housing crisis in the city. More precisely, every development that exceeds 3,500 square meters will have to offer 25% of its property to the government for a real estate price that will be significantly under the market value. The major purpose is acquiring as much as possible public space that will be mainly dedicated for social housing and public use. It's good that the local government is aware that this concept may easily be corrupted with the urban phenomena better known as rich doors, poor doors, and they are looking into finding ways of overruling this negative effect. However, there are many challenges and questions in this proposal, and the first one is why the government will be able to acquire up to 25% of a property during the building phase of the permit procedure. Isn't it better to be offered in advance before even the design phase starts? However, let's stick to our reality and to check some of the Belgian ugly houses for the month. That's it. Stay tuned and see you next month. Peace.